Hi, I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
We are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Oshi No Ko, Season 1, Episode 11. I believe this is the season finale. Sorry we're a little bit late. I was under the weather and coughing, and that would have been annoying to hear the entire episode.
No one wants to listen to that the entire episode.
I'm so excited, though. I'm nervous, too, because I don't want to wait a long time for Season 2 of Oshi No Ko, and I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say that the series does not wrap up here. You know?
I agree with that. I don't even think it's a shot in the dark. I mean, I hope it's not. I'm really excited and nervous about this episode too, because I'm like, how are they going to end this episode in regards to setting up for a season 2 or a movie?
All right, well,
sometimes they do movies.
In theory, it's the perfect end to a first season, right? We know in some of our most beloved TV shows that we have watched, even off the channel, that a first season typically ends sometimes in a place where, God forbid, they don't get renewed for a second season. It's not the worst thing in the world,
which
right?
I appreciate.
In terms of storytelling. And that's why I imagine that a concert from Bikamochi, and hopefully a successful one at that, will be a perfect cap-off for the first season to end. And maybe we'll get a step or some hint at what is next to come in terms of Aqua's journey of discovery and trying to find out who is the boyfriend or ex-boyfriend of Ai.
Yes, there's honestly so much of the show that I think is proving deserving of having more content.
Yeah.
And continuing. And there is nothing worse than having a season end and it not be in a way that if it never got anything after, that you'd still be okay with it. I've watched a few shows where I'm like, that is the most horrible ending to never ever get another season ever again.
Yeah. I have a couple things that I'm hoping happen or maybe might happen this episode, and that is, of course, Bikamochi performing well. And also, I'm kind of hoping that Kana has a conversation with Aqua, because that whole peon, cover up and her finding out. I wonder if that's going to develop into anything this episode. I feel like if they do, this is the season finale, it'd be a good, place to end the season on too.
I'm hoping that he's in the audience. I think I was really feeling after last episode that I was hoping he was spotlight, dead center, front row with some lights, gonna dance along and support them.
Yeah.
And I'm also hoping that some of the people from the dating show also maybe come in support of them.
Yeah. That would be nice to see. I loved last episode. We got a bit of Ruby, actually, I don't know, stepping up to the plate of a protagonist in terms of talking to Kana at the end of last episode. So that I'm fulfilled in the Ruby department in regard. Maybe even Ruby's friends from school will come and watch,
All we know is, for sure, is that they're not going to be alone up there. They have each other to support one another on the stage. It's not just up to Kana of whether this goes down in flames and the other two get hurt. They're in this together. Yeah. And I'm so excited.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Am I going to hear this amazing intro song for the last time? I don't know.
Dude, are they going to change it up for season 2? They have to.
So
but
good.
It's such a big ask.
But how do you do it better for a second season?
I have a feeling that Oshi No Ko will have no issue producing something on par. I'm going to rewatch the show, the second
100%.
that this ends. Yeah.
With the prologue or without the prologue?
With the prologue. I feel like I need to...
Get in the emotional mood again.
I might try to do it dubbed, though. Just to give it a shot. I have no idea what it would be like.
I'm so ready. I hope this goes well. If this doesn't go well, I think I'll be crushed, and then the season will be over, and I'll be like, you left me with my heart on the floor in a million pieces.
Oh... Ooh.
Mana.
The hellish one. Oh no!
Oh.
That dude reminds me of the kid from Spy Family,
Yeah. So Mem is gonna pull in some audience.
Yeah. Holy shit.
The same name might be all they share. Loveless Smile. Was that the name of their song?
They look so good. I mean, you've already won. People are wearing your shirts.
Original fans, maybe. I don't think that would stand out.
I would totally pick white. The animation! Do you think Aqua's holding a white one?
Oh, I hope so. We need to see that star power from her in this episode. I need it.
Get out of your head.
Get out of your head. Show me Kana's eyes light up.
Oh.
Ruby! So it's Ruby! He has red sticks!
It's infectious.
Born to be an idol.
Really nailed the chorus.
Look at her head being down! Shoot. There's no one who looks my way.
God, Aqua, please.
Aqua, please.
I like how it's separate too.
I'm gonna
Yes!
make you love me.
Oh. I love the quick succession of expressions, you know?
I need a replay of that. Can we just like,
Right?
can we just do that again?
They're at a red light.
Change it to white.
有馬たちはこれからもっとすごいライブをやれるだろうし、それを考えたらここで高得点出すのはもったいない。あの二人、やっと話する気になったみたいね。なんだか仲悪いですよね。あれはそういうのじゃないわよ。
They get each other.
ねえ、アクは今勝ちの茜とはうまくいってるの？
Interesting timing to bring that up.
そうなの？
You're so smart.
ただの仕事相手だしな。
Reestablishing
smart.
it's a work relationship.
仕事。あの黒川茜があんたなんかに本気になるはずないもの。テレビショー上の演
Little sweat droplets.
あんたも哀れなダメよ。ああいうの本気にしちゃ急に有馬ちゃんニコニコになって。
Mem, click it. You got this.
Conflicted.
Exactly. Mem's in a tough place. Oh no! Oh no.
I'm excited.
お前、 俺と話してくれなかったじゃん。
それだけの理由なの？それだけでくっそ熱い被り物して走ったり踊ったりしてたわけ？
俺と話したくない有馬は俺の指導なんて受け付けないだろ。あくまで妹の初ライブを成功させるために。
はい、例のシステムムーブってわけね。便利な言い訳持ってるわね。そういうこと
She sees right through you.
私と話がしたくて変なことしちゃったのバレて恥ずかしくて逃げんの？
分かった。
Oh god.
変な誤解してるみたいだから徹底的に討論してや。
今まさに仲悪くなろうとしてる風にも見えるけど、まあいろいろあって人格ねじ曲がっちゃったんだよね。
Yeah.
バイトいるときはちょっと
He's
昔
a
の
bit more like his old self.
あかね、
Mm.
ちょっと頑張んないとだぞ。
取ってきたよ、久々の大型
Whoa, Tokyo Blade.
5000万部突破、アニメ映画も超絶大ヒット、東京ブレイドの舞台化企画。
Stage adaptation.
So Aqua's gonna be on stage?
360度回転させて CG を多用し、原作の雰囲気。
Oh, that's cool.
It's like 4D.
そして舞台化にあたって劇団ララライの協力も取り付けた。
And who do we need to get in contact with them? Aqua.
あそこは若いキャスト少ないから、何人か外部の子引ってこないとね。
That how they get to
この
Aqua.
辺強いのはやっぱカブラギちゃんでしょうよ。なんかいい子いない？
いないこと多分これから来る子たち紹介してもいいけど貸し一つ
You'll owe me one.
Hmm.
うん。
商談成立だな。
しばらくは安泰だけど。
Liked all the stories.
例の件。
Liked by Mem
そ
already.
っちには話行った？
僕がある劇団のワークショップを紹介した。
He has to do it, right? Just to get closer at this point.
当時はそんなに有名でもなかった。
It wasn't famous in those days. I wonder if this person is someone that stayed out of the spotlight.
Yeah.
いい食事の場所を聞いてくるようになった。
And it's like how she acted afterwards.
私はさや姫役でオファー来てて、アクアは陶器役でしょ。
Whoa.
二人は恋人の役。ヒロインキャラと相棒キャラのどっちと結ばれるかで毎週盛り上がってるよ。
陶器の相棒キャラ剣か。
あっちもそろそろ決まるはず。誰になるんだろうね。私よ。
No way! No way! Stop. As soon as they said there was another person. That is crazy.
悪質なファンに追いかけられてストーカー被害に遭うこともある。外での写真はすべて予約投稿が基本。また変な
I love that Kana's arms covering up her
し
eyes.
ないわね。黒川茜。共演は何年ぶり？てっきり役者辞めたんだと
Oh god.
ずっと盤上に引きこもってお金にならない仕事してても仕方なくない？そういえば最近恋愛リアリティショー出てたっけ？近くだったから注意しに来ただけ。お仕事デートの続きは場所を変えなさい。
I like how subtly petty Kana is.
I didn't know Akane had that in her
有馬
though.
と知り合いだったのか。
私たちは同い年で子役の時
Soundtrack.
業界にいるから。でも今は負けない。
More ways than one.
積年の恨みを晴らすチャンスがやっと来た。負けないぞ。絶対負けない。絶対負けない。絶対負けない。
And the play is about to reflect real life.
東京ブレイドの舞台、個人的にも楽しみになってきた。
Me too!
I feel like this guy, we're gonna learn more about this guy. I was scared that was it. Are these all people who are gonna be in it? Or at
Like,
least
maybe
those two?
it's like, hey, this is what the second season's cast is gonna look like. Right?
ルビーももしかしたらこの先アイドルになるのかもって思ってて。
Whoa.
アクアは役者さん。二人はどんな大人になるのかな。
愛をあんな目に合わせたやつが芸能界にいる。どんな手を使ってでも。そのためなら俺は。
Okay, that was Oshi No Ko Season 1, Episode 11. What a way to end a season. Like, just bookend, like the last scene that we got with I and the flashback from the prologue.
That
God.
and to have right before that almost this like little preview section
Yeah.
where like here's some faces that like aren't necessarily familiar to you. One of them was familiar, but like then some of the others weren't necessarily familiar.
Yeah.
And it's like setting up of like, okay, we're setting the stage, if you will, to put on this production.
Yeah. I have a few things I definitely really want to talk about. There were so many parallels this episode, or not even parallels. There were so many reminders of this episode that I was really happy to see, but one of them I really was not expecting was the fan who was in front of the person who ended up murdering
Mm-hmm.
back when she had the concert with Bikomochi years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And him being involved in this one like hit me pretty hard. Like just
I
like
really liked bringing that back. I
Yeah.
mean, it was especially, I'm thankful for it as we got a bookend of the prologue at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
To have that character that was a big fan, especially of Eyes in Bikumachi,
Yeah.
was really great to see. Especially when we get the Aqua bit. And we know that at that same setting, all those years ago, we had one of the greatest bits
In the
between
stroller.
Aqua and Ruby that I think captured everyone's hearts, and they were like, I
Well,
want to watch these kids grow up.
It wasn't even just like it captured everybody's hearts there, even though it did trend a bit. What it did more than anything, though, was elicit a response in that motivated a genuine smile, which then turned out great for her career and her public, perception. And what it did here was the same thing, but with Kana. And it was, Aqua, being a part of both of those instances.
And they were like, he's cheating. He has all of our glow sticks.
Yeah.
But I think he had Mem and Ruby's in one hand and then Kana's singular in another hand.
Yeah, correct. But he had a couple, once he was doing that, Kana had a couple of great lines, like, about, like, turning everybody's glow sticks white,
And, like, make you love me kind of thing.
Yeah. I loved right off the bat we get how good at this Ruby is, because it's not just some pipe dream that she has. It's something that she is very knowledgeable about. And her stage presence for this being like her first time performing, the talking in between songs and like acknowledging, oh, you guys liked that one? Guess what's coming next? You know, I was so happy to hear you guys singing along to all the words. Like she's a natural at it.
And it was really great because we got that line from that old Bikomachi fan that was like, the name might be all they have that's the same, or all they share. And then we get her, and honestly, like, we know that in her past life, she spent countless hours. It's almost like a parallel to Akane being able to break down Ai's character. Because it was in the same way.
Yeah.
Like, both of them studied Ai and watched Ai very closely in for separate reasons, obviously, and at separate times. But both of them were able to achieve a similar light about them once they did research and had watched so heavily content of Ai.
Yeah, I keep thinking back to that scene where Ruby was too scared to dance because of how fragile her body used to be, and Ai helped out with that, and that broke my heart. And to see her up on stage now, like, thriving, I love it. I'm very it's weird to be like proud of a character 11 episodes in, but I'm very proud of Ruby. I'm kind of surprised because this show delivers itself in a slightly different way than I'd expect a show in the same genre to. So, like, typically, for example, I would expect, like, we got a character named Mana in the beginning of the episode.
Like,
and
seeks out cute girls.
Yeah, and the commentary of how
Idol
that stage sucks, it's hot, it's terrible.
Hellish.
Like, typically I would be like, okay, where's that going to come up to cause an issue later in the episode? Or even in a typical, like, anime that I would assume would be in a similar vein, I would have thought that maybe even Ruby would have been in her own head, and we would have gotten, like visions of her experiences with Ai to motivate her. But that's all left on the shelf because it's already exposed to us. We've already learned all of that and progressed to that point where now we don't need that. We're focused on Kana during this, and which gave me some of my favorite lines in this entire series so far. She kept reiterating the same point again and again, but using different language. But this is one of the examples when Kana was looking back on her past, saying, say that you can make use of me, then I'd work like a pack horse. And her just saying, like, give me an inch. Let me know that just express that you believe in me and fight back in that instance just a little bit, and I will work my ass off. I'll go that extra mile. You won't even be able to believe it. And I love that in her
just
character.
that little bit of support that she needs. I mean, she's been left rather empty by everyone, and definitely hasn't gotten the praise for behind the scenes working so hard.
Yeah.
If anything, she's been overhearing, or we got Aqua overhearing the fact that they're aware that she's doing this in the industry, and they're taking advantage of that fact and not giving her the praise for doing that. They're just taking and taking.
With her mom and the manager, her whole disposition about herself, she's very quick to be like, oh no, take care of yourself, handle that. And I think that built up after so many instances and experiences of Kana being the strong person who's trying to put others first, that there's something in her that is like, God, I wish that after saying, no, go take care of yourself, they'd come back and say, no, I need you.
I think the mom was a great example of how we get the line from Ruby that Aqua has a twisted personality.
Yeah.
But once we brought the mom scenario into this Kana time period, 7 minutes into the episode where she was saying all these things, that was a little, there's twisted there, because it was almost like, hey, remember, I'm a kid and I'm your kid, and even if I say I'm okay,
yeah.
And it's this torn, because obviously in the example we got of her going to take care of, I think, the grandfather or something, of course you want your family members to be taken care of, and so it's probably this torn bit of her, yes, I want them to be happy and I want them to be taken care of, but I don't want to lose out anymore, or I want you to at least come back running to be,
or there to be a little more reluctancy,
a little more reluctancy to accepting, or check in on me more, say thank you more, or tell me you're proud of me, or
okay, if that same thing happened and we wanted Kana's mom to still go take care of Kana's grandfather, great. But I think that, and I don't think that any part of Kana would want her mom to be like, no, I'm going to stay with you. But what I think Kana would have probably loved is you know what? I'm not just going to accept that. Once a month, we're going to have a day that we're hanging
quality
out. Or
time.
some effort, I guess, exerted back to show that time with her is still considered important from other parties, and people acknowledge how much she's putting in. Kana's my favorite character that isn't Mem in the show.
Kana
I love Mem
is
for
my overarching favorite character.
Definitely. The bell pepper exercise keeps being brought up, and I love it.
I really like that we got 2 songs.
Yeah.
Because of the journey that we see happen throughout the 2. I feel like if it was just one song, or we had just ended after the first and Kana hadn't, gotten that push or that shine. We start the second song, it's like a roller coaster. We all start and we're kind of okay, yeah, we might be going up the hill a little bit. And, Kana's trying, everyone's trying, they're smiling. And then Ruby really takes the stage, and as Ruby's taking the stage and as the song progresses, Kana is in her head so much that she's slowly falling back,
and she's losing expression
to the point where once we get to the second song, she has her head down and they don't even show us her eyes.
Yeah, and then once they do zoom in on her eyes, they're way different than what they were in the first song, or at least in the opening. We had some absolutely amazing animation during those 2 songs too. It was great. I feel like they put a lot into it. Okay, so this is when that second song is starting, and we see Kana's head drop down. You can't see her eyes, but then it brings you closer to them, and there's no one who looks my way. It's just that self-doubt, and it's with the help of Aqua and Ruby, she was brought out of it. It was so nice to see. Tell me everything's gonna be okay, and then Aqua just goes off, I guess, and he's taking it so seriously.
I know, his expression is so serious, and I love that it literally creates this face of laughter on all 3 of the girls.
And I've decided that as long as I'm going to be an idol, I'm going to make all of your glow sticks white. I love it.
There was a few things in this episode where it's like, it could be talking about multiple things.
Yeah.
Like, she could mean all of the glow sticks in Aqua's hand, or she could mean the whole crowd. And that at the end there, are we talking about our real life battle for love with Aqua, or are we talking about this play that we're in?
Yeah. So I like how it has two meanings, especially like the glow stick meaning. How I'm choosing to take most of it right now is Aqua giving her that little extra push or touch or like, I'm here, I can see you, what she's been asking for, has immediately, it's all she needed to immediately go like a pack horse.
She only needed one person and one thing.
And I think that her, by saying I'm going to make all of your glow sticks white, isn't at all just Aqua. It's everybody in the audience. It was what she needed to get back on track and like really push her to be the best that she can be. I loved it. And I also loved Mem's reaction to her realizing that Kana has a crush on Aqua and her conflict that she's in now.
She has two friends now that she cares for a great deal. Obviously, having gone through big things with both parties. And so obviously she wants the best for those people.
That's something that I'm very nervous to see play out.
It seems like Kana, at least in Mem's head, in this episode, has a step ahead of Akane, where she's like, oh, Akane, you're gonna have to step up. After Ruby gives us the line, when he's with Senpai, he's a bit more like his old self.
Yeah. They both are obviously different degrees. They both are twisted in a similar way with regards to like the industry and how they feel about it. And that like extra wall that they've put up. And they can kind of relate to each other, I feel like. I love how that they're connecting over kind of coming at each other a little bit.
And can you really even imagine Akane? Like, Ruby's like, that's how my brother gets closer to people now that he's all twisted up.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine Akane being able to, like, is Mem is the person that we're putting in the center of, like, this issue of, like, oh, both of my friends. Does Mem then go to Akane and be like, hey, I heard that Aqua likes when a girl, like, messes with him a little bit, or, you know.
Yeah.
And is Akane gonna try that? I mean, possibly. We've seen her do something similar with her research with I.
Yeah.
So
I relate to this line about Aqua of unless someone takes jabs at him like that, his relationship with them won't last long. I love that. It's like getting deeper into that friendship, you know, in like uncovering or breaking down that wall. My thing that I really want to talk about that I've kind of been waiting for is we got and what that love interest could be. So we got a couple things this episode in regards to I's change and who this guy might have been. The first I'm going to say is one of the last things we got, which was like seconds until the end of the episode when Aqua's saying that he'll find him. We get a shot of the proposal of Tokyo Blade laying on a desk through like a window, you know. Is that the proposal on the desk of the person that we're looking for? That's kind of how I interpret it.
My current feeling is that this person is not in the spotlight. This is a stage crew person. This is a person that maybe she never wanted to, obviously for reasons, don't want to put your relationship out there for her position as an idol, but maybe even because this person didn't necessarily want to be in the spotlight.
Yeah.
So it could have been multi-layered of why we kept this such a secret.
So do you also interpret this scene of the proposal laying on the desk being the desk, like the proposal on the desk of the person who we're looking for?
I think if we think about all of the people that it could be, it'd be like, why wouldn't they show us that it was that person?
Yeah. After showing
like
the face of so
director
many
got
other
the
people.
proposal because Aqua gave it to him and he's looking it over. I don't know. So I do like that.
And then, so in talking about I's change and how much she changed after associating with this like theater group, on one hand, I'm like, okay, her having that intimate relationship and, you know, and that mature relationship with this other person led her to the changes that she made. But on another hand, because of the nature of this show and characters like Aqua, it makes me question if the person who I found was very meticulous with their approach to things and thought of things in a similar way that Aqua's thinking of things, or like the director has thought of things and the back ends of things, and then informed or tried to tell I to be truly successful, you have to appear like this, you have to go to these restaurants, you have to dress this way. Did I make all of those changes just because she had this relationship, or was he also kind of guiding her into that success?
I want to pose also the question that whenever you have a revenge story, there's always that possibility that once the person gets to the end and is in the position to enact their revenge or unmask the villain to them, that the person might not actually be a villain.
Yeah.
And we do believe that the stalker probably, that was the guess, that the stalker got Ai's information or new address from this love interest, the father of Ruby and Aqua.
Yeah.
But could they have stolen it from the person? Could they have taken it without that person knowing? It's possible that at the end of this, it's actually going to be someone who had a care for Ai, especially at the time, and in a way maybe helped her kind of develop this wall and armor and personality that she created to become really popular and be Komachi.
I like that idea. It's definitely like on the table as a possibility, but in my mind currently, the only way the person didn't intend for this outcome to happen and it was an accident would be if the person who did it was Saito, like the president who left and left Miyako like to handle the entire company. Like it'd be like, because in that instance, I can imagine him accidentally doing something and then running away after realizing he was the one who caused it. But if it's just a character we haven't met yet, and then Aqua would confront him to then be told that it wasn't intended to be anything and he was just trying, I think that like that would break Aqua's character in a way. Like, I don't know what he would do with that information.
Which could be interesting. I, at the moment, find it hard to believe that at the end of the tunnel, this person is going to be anything more than someone who maybe just wasn't ready to be a dad or didn't want to be in the spotlight, and that's it. That's their only crime.
Yeah.
And then I would love to see what Aqua, especially when you're getting a character. I mean, that's kind of one of the most interesting things to do with revenge is get this person so charged up, so ready to act. They're putting so much energy forward toward this idea, and then what do they do once they hit like this break?
Yeah.
Of like, the rug has been ripped from under me. I don't know who I am anymore, what my purpose is anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that is always
that could
very
be pretty compelling,
and compelling.
But when I'm trying to just sit here and imagine what this person would be like, it would be somebody who I think we could get an idea of based off of Aqua, but instead of like, we see Aqua's real emotions time and time again, right? Whether they're like malicious by how he's manipulating the situation sometimes or not, we see what his true feelings are. I imagine who this person is somebody who is very analytical and goes about things the same way, but has none of that in terms of empathy or emotion to anybody else other than themselves. That would be like, okay, I could see the direct consequences of I having kids or coming out with kids and like how that would affect me, and that would be a slight inconvenience to me, so I'm just gonna like just deal
like
with
someone
it.
Just so cold that they narcissistic almost, or just don't want to be bothered by the inconvenience.
Like I could see them interacting with Aqua and Aqua being like, but how could you do this is a person, this is and she was like, oh well, look, be Komochi's back anyway. She didn't matter at all. And Aqua would be like fucking livid and like go for the kill or some shit. I don't know. Like I could see an antagonist being somebody who's like methodical, well thought out, and just cold and like emotionless.
See, I don't know. I mean,
he'd be a great actor, I bet.
Yes, but I feel like there's so much heavy, deep stuff of what is the true maybe villain to these young people that's being like shown to us throughout this entire season without any mention of Aqua and Ruby's dad.
Yeah.
That I think that's like the real depth that is meant to be highlighted and talked about, and that the revenge story is just something that is personal to the personality and actions of the main character throughout this journey, and maybe it is what blinds them to certain things. It is what the catalyst or device used to move them throughout this story.
Yeah.
And not the actual like end game biggest villain at the end of the story.
Yeah, I could see that as well. Do you remember earlier in the season, like I think it had to have been the prologue when I brought out the sand of
the star sand, right?
The star sand of the person of the killer.
It's after he stabbed her, yeah. And then she was like, "You're the one that brought the sand."
I wonder if it's going to end up being like the reveal of who this person actually was is going to end up being like a reveal in the same, like, oh, this guy has star sand too, and this fan meetup he gave it to both of these people, or not just the star sand, it could be something else that I had, or like the numbers in her passcode, or like what's gonna be the moment that Aqua hits the nail on the head, because it doesn't. I can't see it.
Well, he's doing DNA testing.
I can't see it being a DNA test.
I can't see him getting results. Like, would they really do that?
I can't. Like, it can confirm it, sure, but I feel like there's going to be something that is
in
like
action, personality.
Yeah,
something about this person. Maybe it's even the thought. Since Aqua has such a good understanding of I.
Yeah.
Maybe it's even that. Maybe this person doesn't necessarily resemble Aqua, and that's why, but it's that he can see in this person why I would have fallen for them.
Or maybe even like things that I had said and taken to heart and taken to apply to her own personality that she got from him. Because she obviously changed immensely from just interacting with this dude, right? I would, like, for a bit, I was saying, I was thinking like, oh, well, it doesn't have to be a dude. And I was like, oh, Aqua and Ruby exist.
Yeah.
It's a dude. Yeah. I don't know where we go, man. I sorry, I'm excited though. I'm nervous and excited.
I don't want to wait too long.
How long do you think we're gonna have to wait?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like it might just be in my head, but I feel like this was popular. I feel like this was well received and loved. It had to have been, right? And I like don't actually know that for sure, but it's like a feeling in me that I like feel like it had to have been well received and it had to have been popular.
Just so good.
And people had to have loved this because like how could you
4.94
not?
overall stars.
4.94 sounds really good to me.
Yeah.
Sounds like it should get more content. And
the moment when dude,
couldn't you see a movie though if they're setting up the stage for a stage play?
I could see a non-canon movie. I couldn't see a canon movie.
Okay.
And just the way that this story seems to present itself, unless it was like a big finale type thing,
or maybe just like a really long prologue episode that is the play.
I don't know. Maybe. Okay, so you're saying like just the play like as a solo thing.
Yes, as like almost like a giant episode. But it is all the, like, play.
I could see that, but I feel like I wouldn't want that. Because there's so many things that aren't the play that need to be shown
going on
in the
at
story.
The same time. Because it's not like B. Komachi's not going to work during the play. You're right.
Exactly. One of my favorite moments this episode was Kana coming up with the Instagram feed. First of all, Mem
oh, yeah, double meaning again.
Mem liked the picture before anybody else. It was immediately. And then Kana being like, you should probably schedule these posts. Like that.
Yeah, she was like,
some
stalker's gonna find you. I'm like, there's another double meaning thing happening here.
But
We're not talking about myself, right? But she is right. It's really good advice. And honestly, it's kind of nice of her to be giving them this advice. But she is looking out for Aqua too. She doesn't want anything bad to happen to Aqua.
Part of me was a little surprised that Aqua's response to Akane being like, does this picture work? Was like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, part of me was like, he would have been like directing it to make sure it was the perfect like angle.
That's you putting too much of yourself into this character.
But like I could see like him wanting to like have his like arm slightly close to Akane to make like you know the rest of social media be like, ooh.
That is maybe a little bit of a surprise that he didn't try to manipulate like how that picture came across a little bit better.
All right, that's all I have of you.
I think so. I'm really entertained and interested specifically in what they're going to be doing. pitting these two girls against each other in both the play and in real life, and we know they have a history now where they obviously don't like each other, and they both like the same guy, and that's just really exciting to me as a fan of romance.
I just want everybody to be happy, but that's not why I love the show. So I don't know. I don't really have any. I don't watch a lot of like. What would you even classify the show as? It's not a romance, right?
Well, I mean, it might be turning into
drama.
one if that's going to be the main focus of the next season is this play. I mean, if we have two characters that are in love with the main character.
But I still wouldn't classify it as a romance.
Yeah, no, it has romance elements.
I'd say a drama.
A drama.
Thriller.
A drama's good. If this was a romance anime and we went into the second season, there's obviously that relationship between being a supporting character versus being the main character. You know, the supporting character is going to try really hard to win the heart of the protagonist, but it never actually happens. And, you know, even though Akane seems to be, like, somewhat have this jealousy of Kana stealing all these roles from her, Akane has, like, the better position because she's the princess in the play. She is the main character, and the supporting character is Kana.
Actually, quick, two more things. The dude who is spearheading the Tokyo Blade project with the white and the black hair. I feel like we're gonna learn a lot more about him. His the back of his iPad has the same symbol that that Ruby and Aqua had on their sweatshirts, which I thought was a pretty nice touch. And also, this dude on his phone looks like someone that we've seen before.
Does he look like someone from another show?
I don't know.
Because he does look somewhat familiar to me, and I'm at the moment feeling like it's from... Is it Kenma from Haikyuu?
No, he's like
Maybe it's just the vibe.
Hair. But I felt like we'd seen him earlier this season or something.
We might have. The show has honestly
also,
been like a blur.
Also, the other dude, too, with the purple hair. I don't know.
The guy with the purple hair was on Love Now.
Yeah. Okay, alright, that's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.